I want to spend 1 minute on something very important, because after we talk, people will say GDP growth. What is GDP growth, right? It's not important. That's not what we will eat. But let me explain to you that without that growth, you cannot even begin to solve the problems of this economy. Let me illustrate to you 1 second. This cake symbolizes our income, our GDP, or your income within your household. GDP is nothing but the income of the country, isn't it? The amount of cake you have to eat, you and your wife and children. The same with a country. Let's say this is the amount of cake we have to eat. Now, give me those figures. No, those figures, Honorable Minister. Yes, give me. No, the single one. Okay. Now, I can't stand them up, but these are 4 people sharing this cake. Have you seen them? 4 people. A man, his wife, and 2 children. Or Nigeria with a population of, let's say, 167 million. So this is the cake we have. All right? You have this cake. Having this cake does not mean that every problem in your household is solved, is it? It doesn't mean that your income can now take care of all your relatives in the family who still have problems. It doesn't mean that in your household you don't have problems of people not being employed. But you have this cake which you're sharing. Now what happens if we add 3 more people? Suppose as a family you marry another wife. And you add 1 wife and 7. This is the case. All of you will be suffering. Isn't it when you marry that wife and have more children, even if you have 1, you have another 3 or 4, you want your cake to grow. That is the same way you want it to grow, right? So this is the first thing. What happens if the cake doesn't grow? All of you will start off. Supposing you now have a bigger cake. And you now have the 7. Will you not be better off? What if you have an even bigger cake? You see this biggest cake? You can put so many more people on top. Give me all the give them to me. All of them will be there. And what will happen? That means that you will have even more food. So is it not false when people say that growing the cake does not matter? It matters. Because if you have the same cake, give me a microphone. Look, if you have the same cake as we had before, and your country or carry it for me, carry this cake. It's very heavy. If this cake is not growing, then what will happen is that you become even poorer and poorer, isn't it? Having the cake growing is the best thing. If it is not growing, you will suffer even more. Now, Nigeria has a cake, our GDP, and our population is growing at 2.5% per annum. We are adding, I think, another 2 million people a year. If we don't grow this, what will happen? We will stay with the same cake, and it will become worse and worse. So what we want to do is grow this cake as fast as possible, as large as we can, while solving all the other problems. Notice I didn't say that growing the cake solves everything. But if we don't grow it, we are going to do what? Suffer. So please don't listen to those who say that, what is GDP growth? It doesn't matter. It is not true. It matters tremendously. It is with this growing cake that you can now call those people in your family, in your village, who say you're not helping them, isn't it? come in the first day, they are there in Abuja chopping. We are suffering. If your cake is growing, you can call them, help them with their health problems.